All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fully Me channel. My name is Jazelle, and I am super happy to have you here. I have a fun topic that I'd like to chat with you about today. And this is one that maybe you don't say or speak about often, or maybe speak about in small groups and um, areas or people that you feel comfortable with, especially in the artist community. But that is when you don't feel ready or in the mood to create, and when you don't feel like you have that inspiration. So, what we're going to chat about today is we're going to stop waiting for creative inspiration, and we're going to do these things instead. So, I have three things. There are a plethora of many that you can choose from, but I have three that I highlighted that we can go into a little bit more in depth, and I can give you some examples of what that looks like. Things that I've actually used myself. I have been performing since I was very, very little. Loving the arts, have always wanted to do the arts since before I can remember. Probably driving my family crazy at certain times, like, girl, sit down. When I was very little and even now. And so it's just a natural part of who I am. So I myself have gone through seasons where I'm like on fire, I'm in the flow. Yes, let's go and let's do this. And then there's been times where it's just like I go into hiding. And it's okay to take a step back, right? Regroup. But when you're going into hiding, either you're not keeping up with the things that you actually desire to do and it starts to backfire. That's where I want to really land with you all on today. So you don't always need to feel ready to create. And in this video, I'm going to share some simple shifts that'll help you to keep going. Okay, so welcome. Good to see you. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything that you want me to speak specifically on, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll make some time for that. Okay. All right. So the first thing is when you are like in that creative flow, let me tell you, it feels so good. It feels so great. Like what time? You are in it, heads down, just like getting messy. The ideas are all over the place, right? You're just really in the flow of it. And then you look up and hours have passed. You don't even feel like hours have passed, but it has. When you're really in the midst of it, that feels so good. It feels the best. And then there are also times where it's just like, oh, okay, I know this is good for me. I know this is what I desire, but maybe something else has happened, right? So, what are some things that can get in the way and kind of make our creative flow or our inspiration a little more arduous, a little more taxing? Seems like it's more difficult to get into that flow that I mentioned. Well, there are our thoughts, right? What thoughts are we thinking? Do we have negative thoughts about ourselves, about our situation? Are we comparing ourselves to other people? If we do things like that, what can happen is as they say, there's a whole saying where you like cut yourself down at the knees, right? So instead of being able to stand, you're like on your knees or you're crawling. You're taking away some of your own power when you compare yourselves to others and you are on the lower podium, right? Not saying, oh, this person is great and I am also great. I can celebrate their amazing gift and I can also stand in my own amazing gift. That is different. But when you put someone else and you say, they are so amazingly talented, do you see? Mm, you know, you know. And it's true. There are different individuals and artistic people and creatives who they have a little bit more years on us in certain things, or maybe they have more skills or whatever. But the quality of their work and your work can both be great. It doesn't matter what level we are at in terms of how many years we've been doing it, what's our resume look like, right? Those things can go so only so far. But the basis is the quality. How are you showing up? What is your passion? What do you think about your own gift? You put it out to someone else to see what they think about your gift, right? So don't put yourself on a lower podium while you are celebrating someone else's greatness. be able to also celebrate your greatness. And that's going to be really, really important. So when we find ourselves in that loop of comparison, we're putting ourselves down, it makes it a little more difficult to get in and start doing your own creation. Why? Because you can already like, it's not all that. Okay. Another thing is when you begin to doubt. So, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the whole comparison thing, but the doubting is saying, I'm not there and I won't be there. I'm not there now, and I don't think I'll ever be able to be there. I'm not doing it now, even though it's something I desire to do. I don't think I'll ever be able to do it. So you're doubting even not just where you are right now, but you're doubting your future. You're doubting where you can grow. You're doubting where you can go. You're doubting all of that. And that doubt energy is one is pulling you down energetically. It is taking away all of the different possibilities where your mind can start giving you ideas of, okay, connect with this person and connect with that person, because now you're kind of in a funk. You see what I'm saying? It takes away that energy to even be able to dream further for yourself than where you are. So, as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and anytime that weed of doubt starts to sprout again, pull it up from the root. And ways that you can pull up doubt from the root, that weed of doubt from the, because it will take over just like a weed will, right? Anytime that comes up, remind yourself what you have done. Okay, maybe I'm not there as where I want to go just yet, but look how far I've come. I'm not where I was. And if you need to keep just like a running tally of, okay, I did this production, I did this project, I completed this piece, I worked with this person, I collaborated here, I've also done that, I've completed this goal, I've done this one, and you just kind of have it where you see it. And use that as inspiration. That can be used as your inspiration instead of that doubt pulling from your inspiration. You can build yourself up. Because even if you wake up and you're like, whew, my energy, I didn't sleep the greatest. Going into that time of creation, you can see what you have done. And that in itself can energize you. Okay, I'm pretty good. I've done some good things. Yeah, there's bigger places that I'm ready to go, but I know that I can go there because look how far I've come. Look what I have accomplished. So that means, yeah, I can accomplish that too. So removing that doubt, negative thoughts, and this includes all of it, comparison, and sometimes just physically. I see my son in the background. Sometimes physically, we're just not there, right? If you're not feeling the greatest, honor that. If you woke up and you didn't get as much sleep as you wanted to, okay, understand that and honor that. Sometimes you need some food, sometimes you need something to drink, right? But there are things that you can do physically for yourself to get you into a place where you can meet your creativity. All right. Now, those are kind of a couple of things to look out for and that you can kind of combat, not like in fighting, but push back and say, okay, I'm going to be aware of this. I'm going to be aware of the comparative thoughts. And instead of just, I want to, totally praise somebody else. You've done amazing, wonderful, maybe collab with them. You don't never know what you can learn from someone else by being in their presence and asking questions. But don't sell yourself short. Doubting not just where you are right now, but doubting your future and where you can go, that stops. And an easy way for that to stop is by having a running list. And I say running because it's not completed. It continues to grow. Every time you take another step forward with your desires, your dreams, your goals, then you add something else to that list. Okay? So keep that there. So when those gremlin thoughts start to rise up again and get loud and say what you can't do and you haven't done and you won't ever be able to do, stay away from absolutes as well. Always, never, stay away from that. because things can change very quickly for you. And that is, all of the negative thoughts in general. So now I have three things that can really, really help you. Okay, so the first thing is setting a goal. If you're able to set a goal, a very clear goal of what it is that you desire to do. So, for instance, for me, my desire was to bring to you a live today, right? To bring another live to you today, and I wanted that was one thing. Okay, so now I'm going to refine a little bit more. I want it to be specifically about inspiration. That's what I want to focus on today. Okay, that's my inspiration. Some point today, this is when I want to get to it. These are the things that I want to talk about. And so, what that does is it helps me to have a very clear, set goal of what I'm working towards. So, whenever I'm able to do it, I know that it's no guessing. This is what I desire to do. This is what I desire to talk about. So, what is your goal? What is your creative goal? And it can be like a one time thing like this one video, specific topic. But what is your specific goal? It can be a bigger one, right? It can be about the next project that you want to create. However big, however small, getting really clear on what your goal is. And this is why. When you have a goal, one way that you can really move past not having the inspiration that you desire or having the energy or feeling inspired, when you have a goal, then you can create a routine. And that's really the meat of it. The goal helps you to set a routine. I know that I desire to create number of videos, or I know I desire to create this poem, or maybe a number of poems this week. Let's say this week I desire to write a poem a day, because ultimately my goal is to have a book of poems. My routine is to get up and to write a poem a day. And when you have a routine, know that there's going to be times when whatever you are creating in that time is like on point. Sometimes it's like, and sometimes it's like, you know what, I'm here today. But what that routine does, it builds consistency within you. It also builds confidence, which is, if you go back to one of the earlier lives this week, is talking about trust. So you're building trust with yourself. You're not leaning solely on the feminine essence of creativity, which is flow and how you're feeling and letting it come to you and just being in the mood for it. But you're leaning also into the masculine essence of creativity. And maybe I'll do another video of that for you all soon. And that's the structure. You have a routine. So leaning into that routine helps you to build trust with yourself. It helps you to build confidence within yourself. And you actually are able to accomplish those things towards your goal. Okay. The second thing that I'd like to highlight is artist dates. When you feel, for whatever reason, when you feel like, okay, I'm kind of lagging a little bit, things are feeling a little sluggish, like I need something to like spark me again, what can I do? For myself, I've really found artist dates to be great. So we have our routines, and that's what I would call your artist lab. That's when you have a specific time that you sit down and do something creative. One day out of the week, 3 days out of the week, 7 days out of the week, 5 days out of the week, whatever your routine is, you go to your artist lab, your artist corner, your artist circle, your artist rug, wherever you have a space within your home. And that's when you do your creation, your creativity. The artist date is when you find something where you can go and witness another artist. I cannot tell you how many times just being out and about, witnessing other creatives like myself do their thing, it just like jolted me awake, or it spurred me on or added on to what I was already feeling, or it sparked new ideas and helped connections to ideas that I was already processing. It's so much for me. I was grateful for them, and I used the energy of them standing in their power, standing in their truth, standing in their creative genius, and allow that to spark me. It's almost like, not saying you're a stalled car, but think of this as an idea. When you have a car that is stalled, you'll come and quite often you'll say, "Hey, can you come and give me a jump?" Or someone will pull off the side and help you, and they'll come. They have these wires, negative and positives, and they connect it to from their engine to the stalled engine. And they turn on that car, and what happens is the electricity from one engine passes over to the another engine, the stalled engine, and it jolts it to life. And then you leave that car on so that it can start circulating its own energy throughout the engine and the rest of the car. But it's like that. So if you feel sluggish, and even for those of you who may feel like you are stalled, I encourage you, you can still create. And sometimes creating, even when you don't have the inspiration, can be as simple as going somewhere else where someone else is standing in their power, standing in their creative genius, and be jolted, get a creative jump from that, and allow that to stir within you. Hold on to what you saw, hold on to what you heard, hold on to the energy that you experienced in the room, and allow that to take you further. Allow that, take that into your artist lab, and allow that to be a part of stirring up, awakening that inspiration within you. Actually, last night I had an opportunity to go to a poetry reading, and it was like, a night of poems and kind of an open mic time feel afterwards. And I signed up for it. And when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, this will be so great." And I signed up for it. And then throughout the day, I was like, "Okay, I'm doing this and I'm doing that." And I look up and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. Maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I just won't go. Maybe, I don't know." But because I have made this a pattern and a routine within myself to have artist dates, to get out and to be amongst my people instead of just in the house or just doing this or working on that, but to commune and to be visible in person, not just online, I walked myself right back from that ledge of not going. And I said, "Jazelle, make a decision. I am going. Period. Even if I get there a few minutes late, not what I want, don't know if it's going to be any seats, but I'm going to go anyway." And so I went there. And can I tell you, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. First of all, Jay Ivy, and I don't know if you all know him, but he is this amazing, brilliant poet. Has been doing it since he was a very, very young school age, and is multi-Grammy nominated and Grammy winning poet. And then also there was Tonka, and believe I'm saying her name right, but Tonka and the Bangas, who is already Grammy winning, but just won it this year, in this current year, for poetry as well, for her piece. And so I went there and I was just sitting in the back. I happened to get a seat, and I was just sitting there watching in awe, taking in the raw power of their craft. So inspired and so grateful that I had a chance to be a part of that just in the room. So then when they opened it up for open mic for anybody in there who wanted to come up, I did not prepare to do any poetry. I did not prepare any of that. I was just trying to get there. Remember, because I had made a decision to not go. So I have my phone and I'm like, crap, a lot of my poems are on my computer. Let me see what I have. And so I'm going through and I found one and I was like, okay, maybe I can do that one. And then I went through and at the last minute I found another one that I had done. And I was like, okay, I think I'll do this one. And in that moment, I raised my hand up. People were raising their hands. He couldn't see me because I was in the back. And I was like, okay, just be patient. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. And then it did. All right, who's next? Raise my hand. I see you back there. Come on up. And when I tell you, my heart was beating so fast. It was beating so fast. And yet there was something within me that desired to be a part of this moment of creating and sharing our creativity with other artists in the room. And I'm not readily known as a poet because I keep a lot of them to myself. But in this moment, in this spoken word form, I was able to go ahead and show them what I got. And I am very proud to say that pretty much everybody, no, not even pretty much, but like the whole room exploded with clapping and an appreciation for my own gift. Jay Ivy and both Tonka were telling me that what I presented to them, what I presented to the room were great. Like, girl, where you been? This is amazing. And what that does is it pours back into me, not because they said it, but because I did it, because I went. I was filled with inspiration from them, their power, their strength. I was able to appreciate them and tell them how much I was grateful for them being there and doing their thing, appreciating myself, and then had the little cherry on the top where they were pouring into me and saying how great I was as well. So when you don't feel inspired to create, you don't feel it, it feels sluggish, I encourage you to take one of those days and to go out and to witness another great artist in life, in real time, doing their thing. Open mics, open poetry nights, readings. Just go out, live music in the park, festivals. Go out and be poured into. Get that battery recharged and see the difference that it's going to make. Now, I have one more to share with you. And it is great to have a goal. It is important to have some type of a routine, right? Get into that artist lab, set a time frame. How many times can I do this a week? And then make it happen. Continue to build that trust with yourself, that consistency and building your confidence. Have your artist nights where you go out and you support others and be inspired and get that spark relit, right? Get that electricity, get that jump, that creative jump from someone else. Cherishing their work and also cherishing yours. But then here's the thing. Sometimes, sometimes it's great to just let go of the plan. So the example that I gave before, staying with the topic of poems, was if you wanted to create a book of poetry and you say, okay, every day I'm going to write a poem. If for whatever reason you find yourself like, I just don't feel it today, I encourage you to do this. Still stick with your routine because that's trust that you're building with yourself, right? Whatever the frequency looks like for you in this season, and it's okay that it changes in different seasons, but stick with what you said that you promised to yourself, the word that you gave to yourself, because we need that confidence, we need that foundation of trust. So still go to your artist lab, but in this instance, let go of the plan of needing to write a poem. For one of those days, or maybe you need two, or maybe you need three. Listen, don't push it, okay? We got a goal. But let go of the plan. And instead, that time that you set away, can you go to the beach and maybe draw, maybe hum, maybe write a song? What else is coming up for you where you can still honor the creativity of this time that you've set aside for yourself, but maybe it's not that particular thing? I wouldn't push it past 3 days. Honestly, I'd say one day, 1 or 2 days, and then get back into that routine because you do have a goal. But sometimes it's good to just let go of the plan. And The example that's coming up for me right now to best explain this is I love to travel. Travel is a part of my life. I've been traveling since I was a very, very young girl, with church and family and friends. It feels so good to me. I love exploring the world. I'm like, God, you've made the most beautiful world. Even if some of the people in it, we need to remember our greatness so that we can see greatness in each other. But it's such a beautiful world, you know? And so I love to travel. Now, for me, my preference for traveling is it's an adventure. Let's go explore. Let's see what happens. And for others that I've traveled with, it's like, okay, what's the plan? We're going to go here, then here, then here. We're going to schedule this, and then we're going to go to this restaurant. And then after this, we're going to go here for this excursion. And then we're going to rest, and then we're going to do this. And then everything is super, super planned out. That feels very confining to me. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. However, on the flip side, if you go to this place and you know this place has wonderful, beautiful things that you want to experience, you got to make time for it. You can't always fly by the seat of your pants. Otherwise, you're going to use all that time and only get a chance to see a fraction of what you wanted to experience while there. So I have learned to have bringing back that masculine, that feminine again. I've learned to also to merge the two. So one day I'll be like a free for all, like, what are you doing? I don't know. What do I feel like doing right now? Do I feel like going and reading for most of the day, get something to eat? Do I feel like walking the streets? Do I feel like just taking a really 2 or 3 hour long walk and seeing the sights? Because I don't know what I'm missing. Sometimes you don't know what you know until you know it, right? And so just having that explorative feel and planning, just like open planning, allows you to have that. And then the next day, I'll have it structured. Okay, this day, I am going to maybe get a massage. Maybe I want to go to this restaurant on this day. So I've already planned out and RSVP'd, and then I want to go see this site on this day, right? So maybe I'll have 3 or 4 things planned. And then the following day, maybe I'll have the half of the day where I'm able to just do whatever I want to do. And then the second half of that same day is more structured. So, this is the idea that I'm sharing with you. Being able to let go and play and see what happens while still having that structure that you can go back to. Because I have a goal. Leaning into what feels good at that time. When you let go of the plan, sometime for a brief moment, 1 or 2 days, you begin to allow more things to come to you that add on to the project that you're doing. And that builds into your inspiration. Going on the bike ride, being with friends, going to the beach, sitting and coloring in a children's coloring book, just vibing out. Whatever that is, you're still in a mode of creativity, but it's not a specific plan. You've given yourself space. That can also help to bring and to boost and to revive your inspiration. So I have given you multiple things here. I encourage you to go back, listen again, listen as often as you need to, and understand that your inspiration, it flows, it ebbs and flows. Why? Because you are human, you are alive, you are breathing. There are things around you that impact you. There are things in our environment that impact us. Sometimes it's how we've slept, a dream that we've had, something we ate the night before, or any other responsibilities that we have that can kind of shift things. However, as a creative, there is a reason that you are here. There is something that you're meant to share with me, with others, maybe with your family. Maybe it's for yourself. And I say often, if there is an idea that has come to you, it is meant to go through you. It is meant to come through you because it came to you. It came to you. So that's meant to come through you and to be shared. Okay? Even if other people get to be a part of it, you are still the nucleus of that thing because it came to you. So You can revive that inspiration, but even when you have those moments where you're not feeling it and you feel sluggish, don't freak out. Check your thoughts. Make sure you're not leaning into doubt, comparison, or any negative thoughts that keep you low. Clean that stuff out. Remind yourself of what you have done, and that can be the basis of where you can go. And then also have your goal. Make it clear. Have it in front of you. Have a routine that works for you in this season. Have artist dates. You get into your artist lab, have your artist dates where you are able to witness and support and celebrate other artists. And then also get that creative jump for yourself. And then when you just need it, honey, let go of the plan. Just let go of the plan for a day. Give yourself a day off from that specific plan. Still play, but give yourself a break and you will be surprised how that energy reboosts, how you feel refreshed, and how you feel inspired again. And maybe it's just inspired enough to take that next step. But once you take that next step, you're gonna be like, okay. And then you take the next one, and the next one, and the next one. All right? So if you have any questions or you want to share some tips that have worked for you, share it with me in the description box. Actually, share it with our community, right? This is a community of creative artists, performing artists, visual artists, literary artists, all of us. So share it with us. Until next time, live fully. Share this with someone else. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And until then, I will see you. Bye.